As per usual, take my reviews with a grain of salt and come to your own conclusions with the gameplay you are about to see. This review is rated PG-13? R.
Mass Effect Andromeda was promoted to high heavens, for which I salivated whenever I heard or saw a video about it online. I was broke, so I kept on at EA/BioWare to send me a copy, because I'm a reviewer and all, but they did not because apparently I'm a nobody. But you know what? It was my birthday and I got funds in little envelopes from families and friends to which I could buy this game. Let's begin. What in the high heaven with flaming seashells did they do? Jesus Christ, where to start? Facial animations aside, look at the graphics. Fuck no man, Western Shooter had better graphics. The texture on my shit this morning looked better than anything I've seen on the ground in this game. PS1 style polygons, check. What a bunch of rubbish. It's like they went out of their way to be cunts. Some dude higher up must have been like this. Designers, don't worry, just get this game out there. We'll market the hell out of this game, so do your worst. Then, on that side note, some other dickhead with 15 pencils and Coke bottle glasses said, "We can release an apology note if anyone complains." Well, sweet merciful fuck with brown tomato sauce ever so slightly but specifically placed. I can't get over this shit. Now, let's move on to what you've noticed if you've paid $90 for this game, the facial animations. Oh. Picture this, a shiny red apple ever so lightly glistening from a lustrous bright gleam. Now, add water and sand in a bowl, mix it to a muddy sticky substance, and add a spoonful on top of the apple. Next, find something that is red in color but slightly thick in texture, and grab a butter knife. One from the sink already used with perhaps a smear of white mayonnaise on it, and now smear it across the apple. Grab a wooden blunt spoon and cut a mouthhole in said apple. Now for highs, let's add 2 cat treats. If they don't stick, use your finger and stick it up your ass and use what's on it. Grab the object just created and move its mouth in a way that it's talking back to you. There you go. Facial animations we have in Mass Effect. Now, lighting. And what a dirty, slimy cunt who did this. So on top of the beautiful facial animations we have, the lighting, which seems like something out of a game from the Super Nintendo era. Except, let's add lens flares. What cunt managed to binge fuck the lightning? Duck Hunt had better lighting. Now the story.
Director Tan, good news. The Angara opened an embassy for us on Aya.
That is a surprise. What are their expectations?
I convinced them we're friends. Try not to mess it up.
And what seems to be a shining light out of all of this is greatly overshadowed by what you can actually do in real life. It's the same as the other Mass Effects, well, minus part 3 with that shit ending. You remember that? It's well written, I guess, but this is a time where it's just too much. I felt overwhelmed and just wanted to get to where the fuck I wanted to go, but find myself wanting to talk to everyone just to get to their story, only to get lost in my own ship or the Nexus trying to find certain people, and then only to give up and try to navigate what they call is a map, which is morbid, as a positive note. In the end, you're feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, and just want to go on a murderous rampage through your own shit, but can't. You eventually tilt your head down, wander around for tens of minutes only to go through books of dialogue with crew to make sure you don't miss nothing, which turns into hours to end up back on the main mission. Well told, perhaps some would say, but way more annoying than it's worth. Fuck that sex scene you're trying to get, because you know that's what you're doing. Anyways, that's where you end up to. Sound is something else, let me be blunt. Every time you jump, all you hear is psst. It's annoying. From repeated dialogue from your crew to stupid conversations that I'd imagine were placed in there to make the game seem more engaging, it just becomes annoying. However, the spacey music is kinda cool, but grunts and weapons and even the sound of the Nomad will get annoying after a while. Let's move on. Talking gameplay. I've been pretty lenient with the game so far, and I'm not going to be as nice here. What the fuck? The programmers are useless handicapped cunts who couldn't tell a line of code from a line of coke. That's what happened here. They stored too much coke. I mean, to start, look at the physics. You know when you toss a ball at the ground it bounces back? Well, it's not the case here with the Nomad. It can drive over anything, and the animations seem to be a joint effort between the physics creators to make the game as unrealistic as possible. And if that were the case, they have graduated with an A+. It's utter shit, and all you're doing is driving. Now, I'm betting you're thinking they couldn't fuck up walking. But, let me tell you, they did. In a graceful way of adding another A+ to their demo reels, what seems to be something out of an asylum where people are laced and pumped full of drugs they really don't need. Now imagine that being the case, that's how you walk. If you've played this, did you notice how if you're running and you stop running, he keeps running? At least for a few more meters. Now using that, what will happen if the game becomes a platformer, which it tries to do? Fucking frustration, that's what. Cunts with unibrows, that's what they are. Cover system. They must have used the let's not and say we did form of practice, as you can run up to something and expect to take cover, but are standing there getting coined by everything on screen. And on top of that, they ignore your fucking friends, in what must be a masterful feat of programming designed just to irritate you. And Jesus, you think that's all that's wrong with the game? You eventually get into modding and upgrading your shit, and which is just as pleasing as the rest of the game. In what seems to be a folders in folders in folders level up system, things are all over the place. So much that once you find something to toss your points into, you basically just keep putting points into that one thing because you don't know what the fuck the other stuff does, and what you're using just works, so why change? There's a lack of tutorials, or at least none that I could find or had the option to go through. It's what I'm calling a fusterfuck system. The game also has a character creation system. That must have been snatched from some random school form. Options are shit. You end up adding bright colors just because that's your only option. So now you're playing one of the shittiest games of the years with pink bright hair and green lipstick just because it's all you can do. This is the most overrated, underrated, overhyped game to come out this year, if that even makes sense. It's like the Beatles meets Marilyn Manson meets Billy Ray Cyrus. What a shitstorm of a game. It's only worth $19.99 from the cheap bin. Fuck BioWare. Well, at least this time. Fuck them. Just buy something else. I could go on, but the video is getting a bit long. However, I'm only going to be releasing one every month or so enjoy this one. And usually the reviews are going to come after the release date of the game, unless some company is foolish enough to send me an advanced copy. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I give this game a 4 out of 11 because it should have been more. This is DTR. Communicate laters, fuckers.